Flu choke style pressure, and I'll usually let go. And now we're safely back in the guard. But super basic, but it's funny, you just still need to mention it. You're trying to throw an arm over the shoulder. Don't throw it like a hook. Throw it like we're swimming. The sharper angle we get with this movement here, the best chance we have to beat him to the high elbow position. Or even some guys have a good high elbow, but actually have poor shoulder mobility. So the sharpest angle they can get is here. This is beatable. So guys with super flexible shoulders, we're gonna have that swimming technique absolutely perfect so you don't get choked. The Nicky Ryan escape we did from the arm in variation in sort of the first section where we're covering guillotines, it's still gonna work for this move as well. Obviously, we need to be quite proficient at the technique because again, a high elbow guillotine without an arm in, is gonna come on that much quicker, right? So I would say the best scenario you have for this move is, let's envision we've shot a takedown. Instead of the guy locking up an arm in, they've locked up a chin strap and they start throwing that high elbow position in. So again, not an arm in with a scoop, they're throwing this style of position. Height is our friend. Again, that's one of the key concepts we've covered in this, and that is that if you can make someone have to hold on to the guillotine with their entire body weight pulling them down, or like I covered previously where we did the single leg dump and stayed standing, we threw some sort of high energy movement behind it, will stress the grip immediately. So if you feel someone latch up a guillotine and you're going for a takedown, it's always better to either remain standing or land straight into a 4-point position. If I follow Nick all the way down to the ground, his grip hasn't been stressed at all, and then we have to now climb for height where they've already established a close attachment. So let's look at it. Let's look at it as if I've come in, Nick shot this position here, and he starts sitting down for a takedown. I want to come to this 4-point position here. If I follow him down, now you can see how I haven't stressed his grip at all. Secures our head and he sits down. There's no stress on the grip at all. If he latches onto our head and I come into a 4-point, now his body weight is pulling the grip away. And that's where we can start doing that motion again. When we hit the 4-point, we want to start using our bicep as a lever. Start creating this angle here. We can start bouncing if they secure a closed guard. If they're in open space, it's not as important. And we start generating that internal rotation to get our ear to the chest there. So I take Nick down. I get that internal thumb rotation here. Nick's trying to hang on. And we're able to get our ear heading to their center line here. We're head pummeling, and he's got this guillotine grip here. And instead of doing an elbow pass, we're using our bicep to push it. We overcommit it. So I shoot, I'm in trouble. We use our thumb internal rotation on the bicep, and we get our ear back inside, clearing that threat completely. So again, if you want to see it in more detail, refer to the to the full guard, arm in guillotine, where we really concave those shoulders. We get our internal rotation of our thumbs, which turns our bicep into a lever that pushes their arm too deep, and we're able to get that head pummel inside there. So that's going to be very, very effective at clearing the high elbow throughout a takedown. But again, just remember, height's your friend. If they have to hold their entire body weight up, just off their chin strap, just off their high elbow, arm in, whatever variation of guillotine, it's going to stress the grip. We'll stress the grip, we're heading in the right direction. We're on our way to clearing the submission threat. Let's talk about head pummeling in 3 specific circumstances. The first one we'll do is you can end up in this situation in a number of ways. It could be out of a sweep, could be out of a takedown. You've come on top. Again, we're following the principle, keeping our hips high, trying to stress their grips with high hips when they're trying to hang onto your head. So let's look at the first situation, because again, it's a crucial concept, is that internal ear rotation to clear the threat. So let's say Nick's down here. We've ended up, however we've ended up here, Nick's got our head here. I'm in danger, right? I don't want to follow him down. I want to pummel my head and stay on top. When we're on the ground here, hand on hip, hand on the knee. I apply pushing pressure to the knee, which helps me pummel my ear inside. We need to push this knee. We need to get this knee facing away from us to allow us the space to pummel our head. If I don't touch his knee here, I'm going to get choked. So I push that knee, and it allows us to get our head inside, and then we'd immediately start getting to his shoulder and securing the pass, punishing him for attempting such a submission on ourselves. When we're on the ground, we push the knee. When we're standing, and Nick has this threat, I block the hip, and I push the elbow to get our head inside. If the submission's coming on, control the hips. If Nick wants to finish me in a standing position, his hips come in. If one hand's not enough to get his hips back, I'm pushing, Nick's still getting the finish in. 2 hands on the hips. Now he's trying to finish. We walk through them, right? So in a perfect world, hand on the hip, hand on the elbow. We push and we come forward. Don't push them back out, make them pay for that mistake. If we're pushing on the hips and they're just too strong, they're overpowering us, 2 hands on the hips. Be the same if we're under mount. Control the hips, control the finish. And then on the ground, obviously, very tough for me to get up here and push the elbow, but I can achieve the same thing by pushing the knee, that head pummel. I would suggest you really practice with your training partners. Keep giving them your head. Obviously,